right? Why does anybody get sick? Like, why should anybody get sick? Shouldn't we be born? We grow. We stay strong. And then we die in our sleep at 99 years old to 110 years old or whatever. Shouldn't that be what it should be, right? But wait, it's not like that. It was almost like that, almost 30 years ago. Now, how's that possible? The elder homes, right, had people 98, 105, 109. Technology wasn't great. Heart operations, heart surgeries were antiquated, right? You name it. Medical technology, MRI scans were really bad, antiquated. Everything was antiquated. 30 years ago, 35 years ago, why was it when you go into a nursing home or retirement home, that person's 105, that person's 108, that person's 106, that person, 35 years ago, 106, 108, 104, 99, right? You know what nursing homes have now? If you can't be nursed at home, 45 years old, 42 years old, 55 years old, 30 years old, 27 years old, 22 years old, 61 years old, yep, bedridden, 65 years old, bedridden, 27-year-old, bedridden. That's what it is now. 35 years ago, you wouldn't find a 35 years ago. You wouldn't find a 25-year-old. You wouldn't find a 20-year-old that was basically wasting away. It was rare. They were there, but it was so rare. It was sprinkled in different parts of the country, sprinkled around in different parts of the states. But now, that's changed. Life expectancy has dropped, tragically dropped. That's how it is now. It's not about you grow up, you ebb and flow with a couple little sicknesses, boom, you're back on top, you're strong, you live your life. Now you're 65, now you're 75, now you're 85, and it just your joints creak a little bit. I'm 85 years old, and yeah, I'm a little stiff, but I'm still playing a little bit of tennis, and I still enjoy whatever I want to eat for lunch and drink whatever drink I want to have. I put a little rum in here, I just drink whatever. I'm 85 years old, nothing wrong. And, you know, it's not like that anymore. We don't have that anymore. It's a whole different story. So why are we sick? Why are we all getting sick? And that's the answer. That's the question. What's the answer? Why are we all sick? So what happens is with medical medium information, it's all about the truth of why we're sick. That's why when you go all the way back years ago with medical medium information, people all walks of life sick, traveling around the world looking for doctors, 10 doctors, 20 doctors, 30 doctors, and they were looking for this information right here. They were looking for this information. And then when they healed, when they got the information, they said, write a book. Anthony, write a book. AW, write a book. Mr. Medical Medium, write a book, write a book, write a book. We heard it so many times. I remember my receptionist heard it a billion times, year after year after year, as people left the office healing, and more people healed, and more people healed. Anthony, when are you going to write the book? Doctors, Anthony, when are you going to write the books? When are you going to write the books? When are you going to give the answers out there somehow? You lecture, you talk about it, you lecture on the scene, you go here, you teach doctors. When are you going to write the books and put it in the books? The answers to why everybody's sick. Science and research didn't know the answers, right? So the whole point is it's not like life used to be, where you can get rid of a little bit of butter and you can get rid of a little bit of gluten, and boom, you're back on track, and you're 75 years old and all's good. You're tip-top shape. Those days are over now. People are suffering and struggling, and nobody knows what it's like to be in somebody's shoes, man, especially when you're young. when you're young and you got the anxiety and it's through the roof, you got the depression and it's through the roof, and you're really sick and struggling. Nobody knows what it's like when you're like 22, 25, 28, 18, whatever. And nobody knows what it's like. And even when you're in your 30s and 40s and 50s and been through hell and back and you're struggling, and you got the Hashimoto's, but you got more of that brain fog is brutal. Your brain fog is brutal. You got the anxiety attacks and panic attacks. Then you got the depression. You can't breathe good, and you're at every pulmonologist, and you're trying to figure out what's wrong with the lungs. Pulmonologist is saying, fine, your lungs are fine, your lungs are fine. And you can't breathe, right? Janie Lee says, I'm currently 25. So you're currently 25 and struggling. It's really difficult. God bless you for just keeping strong through it and probably fighting every day to get through it, right? I'm proud of you. I truly am. And then so many people have so many different conditions, and they have all the weight gain come on, and then they have other things too. It's not just a heart condition anymore. It's not just you get old and you have a prostate, you're a guy, you got a prostate condition, and then you get a heart condition. Or you're a woman and you get some other condition. Okay, you get some other condition, but the point of like depression or some anxiety, it's not that anymore. It's far worse. It's vast. Everybody's getting a neurological symptom left and right. Everybody has these neurological symptoms. Their brain is a big part of it. Ashley Barnes says, this man changed my life. I'm honored you're here, totally. We're live right now on Facebook, YouTube. We're live on Rumble. We're live on TikTok. We're live on Telegram. We got so many platforms, I can't say them fast enough. I'm blurring them all together. Okay? So what I wanted to talk about, you guys, and I hope you're here for this and hang around for a couple of minutes, all right? I wanted to talk about just, we can break it down to some kind of simplistic level. You either have something toxic in you, or you have something alive in you that shouldn't be in you. You either have something toxic in you, right? Okay? Here's some copper. You guys like my new copper bracelet? Okay? Got my new copper bracelet. So I ordered it online, my new copper bracelet. They said it's really good for me. They said, let it touch your skin. It's like healing and good for me. This new copper jewelry line that they have. They got copper earrings. They got copper bracelets. They got copper necklaces. They got copper anklets, right? All of it. The place is like incredible, right? I ordered this nice copper bracelet here. And God, I hear copper's so healthy for you. By the way, it's not. Copper's highly toxic. And they're just playing with fire when they play with copper. Touching it is really bad. Touching copper is bad. Right there. I have to do my heavy metal detox smoothie tomorrow morning. You better believe it. So we're either saturated with some kind of toxin, whether it's metals, whether it's chemicals, right? For old pharmaceuticals. But we're saturated with either that, or we got the bugs. We got something inside of us alive that's not supposed to be there alive. It's not supposed to be there, but it's there. And then having both toxins and the bugs combined is even harder on people. Monica says, I just lost my beloved hubby. He was 33. He was so sick. It's on Facebook. Monica, I'm so sorry. I really am. Honestly, I just don't even know what to say because there's no words. Just know that with all my heart, that I hope somewhere, somehow, you can find some peace through all this. What happens is people have two things going on. They have the poisons and the toxins, or they got the bugs. They got the critters, right? And you can have both. You name the disease. Name it. Name the illness. Name the illness. Name the disease. Right? Name the condition. Name the symptom. Is it ringing in the ears? Is it ringing in the ears? Is it whooshing in the ears, fluttering? Is it popping in the ears? Right? What that is, the Epstein Barr. That's what that is. Okay? and it's releasing neurotoxins, and it gets into the inner ear, the labyrinth of the inner ear. And that's what that is. It's bugs that create the tinnitus. There's a comment here. Tanya says, I stopped drinking coffee in December and then just tried the lemon juice cleanse and celery juice for 3 days now, doing well, and the red bumps on my back and my arms are disappearing. Incredible. Incredible. It's on Facebook. Honored to hear. Medical Medium books have this information in there. You guys, it's got this information in there. Turns people's lives around so they can get the answers they need. And it's here. It exists. You just have to know how to look at it and say, hey, wait a minute. What is this? What dosage do I do? What is this? How much do I take? Wait a minute. What do I have to avoid? Wait a minute. What is this? What's going on? What's causing my problem? How many drops do I need? Like what? It's there. The information's there. In the books. It's there. Anxiety. Okay? Depression. Eczema, psoriasis, vitiligo. There's answers to those. There's answers to those. Okay? Neurological conditions, tingles, numbness, tic spasms, aches, pains, burning skin, burning tongue, burning jaw, pain in the jaw, pain in the neck, pain in the back of the head, pain in the back, lower back, right? Different rashes, hives. There's answers to all of it. They exist. And people can heal. Lynette says, my oldest daughter is 21 and having different issues. Has ruptured ovarian cyst, kidney stone, borderline anemia, anxiety. So if that was happening to a family, say a family member came to me and said, look, this is what's going on. The anemia is viral. That's what I would tell my family member. The anemia is viral. Epstein-Barr causes anemia. That's mystery anemia. Right? Epstein-Barr also causes ovarian cysts, reproductive cysts. So that's another thing Epstein-Barr causes. Toxic heavy metals cause anxiety. Okay? What's happening here is, published in the Medical Medium books quite a long time ago now, Kim DeAndrea says, you cured my son from hypothyroidism on Facebook. Incredible, incredible. Medical Medium information is so advanced and so ahead of research and science that research and science ends up stealing it years later. But the joke's on research and science for stealing it because it's already been published. And it's already here, way before them, as proof that another source up above, a source, had the answers before research and science. So what they're doing, they're taking medical medium information now about Epstein-Barr and a lot of other things. It's actually insane what they're doing. They used to say, this disease or condition, cause unknown. And now they put viral infection. Now they put Epstein-Barr. Now they put shingles. It's like, okay, but where's the research paper? And you look, there is no research paper. And then you look, there really is no research that was done. So then you realize it's just somebody going like this. Whoa. That guy sold millions and millions and millions of books talking about Epstein-Barr. Doctors are using it all around the world. We can't let this guy get away with this. We better just take it and steal it. Doesn't matter if we don't have research yet. Yeah, RA is now Epstein-Barr. MS is now Epstein-Barr with no real research behind it. Interesting. So when it comes down to being sick, there's real reasons. I've been saying this for over 35 years. If you have vertigo, it's the vagus nerves. It's the vagus nerves being inflamed by a critter. You got tinnitus. It's a critter getting into the labyrinth of the inner ear and inflaming that nerve channel, causing your tinnitus, your popping, your fluttering, your whooshing. Viral infection, right? If you got other conditions like eczema and psoriasis, that's a combination of having toxic heavy metals like copper inside your liver and then having a little buggy right here that feeds off of the copper, because that's what happens. The little bugs inside of us feeds off the copper, releases a dermatoxin, and now you have your skin problems, your psoriasis and eczema. If this is really hard for someone to understand, because it could be hard for somebody to understand when you think about it, right? If it is, you just got to break it down. You got to break it down in its most simplest form. You got a critter in you, and you got some poisons and toxins of some kind in you. You can name them all, right? And one is bothering you on its own, or both of them are bothering you together. That is as simple as it gets. And then ready? After that, our immune systems break down. We become deficient, dehydrated, and toxic. And then we just start to fall apart as the years go on. I can sum it up that easy, that fast, for anyone. And if I heard that and I was sick, so if I had something wrong and I was in bad shape and I heard that, be like, what do I need to do? It sounds to me like I have to get rid of the critters, find out which ones, and then I got to figure out how to get rid of the poisons and the toxins, like the metals or anything else. And then I'm home free. But how am I going to do that? Answers are here. It's doable. People are doing it all around the world. They are. So let's go into a little bit. Now, if I was sick, okay, I'd be drinking licorice tea if I had symptoms that were looking like they were because of Epstein Barr or shingles. And those symptoms are fatigue, conditions like lupus, chronic fatigue syndrome, brain fog, right? Autoimmune of any kind. And so I'd be like, okay, licorice tea, because that's an antiviral right there. Okay? Even if you're doing little things like this, well, I'm going to do my licorice tea, that's one thing right there. So I'm going to go into autoimmune right now, and I'm going to look for it here, right? And so let's go to autoimmune. So autoimmune diseases and disorders, right? So if you get diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, and I'm going to read real quick the autoimmune part, right? If your individual autoimmune issue isn't listed here, because there's so many, there's hundreds, right? If it's not listed here, you still can use this autoimmune section, by the way. The true cause of autoimmune is unknown to medical research and science. Health problems that are labeled autoimmune are in truth viral infections. Viruses that cause autoimmune conditions can be one or more of the 60 varieties of Epstein-Barr, over 30 varieties of shingles, okay? Many varieties of HHV6, HHV7, undiscovered HHV10 through HHV16, multiple varieties of herpes, simplex 1. So the fever blister, people got the fever blister in their body their whole life, but then what happens is the fever blister virus, you guys, ends up causing jaw pain, teeth pain, strange headaches, back of the neck, right? Trigeminal neuralgia, other problems. So that's what happens with the herpes simplex viruses. Herpes simplex 1, cold sore, fever blister. Oh, I just got a fever blister. Yeah, don't worry, don't worry. Yeah, what do you see on my lip? Don't worry. It's just a fever blister is what it is. And that's what people don't realize. It's like, oh no, it's no big deal. Meanwhile, you know, it is a big deal, because in the end, it can cause some problems. And it's important to kind of like be like open to that. It's like, yeah, I know I have a fever blister. Don't worry about it. You want to share my glass? I'll share my glass with you, right? It's like, yeah, no, can I borrow that? I'll give you your glass back. Can I try that drink? Don't worry about this fever blister right now. Yeah, don't worry. The fever blisters are highly contagious, right? Highly contagious. And they cause so many troubles. But people don't know they cause any trouble. So it's like, okay, no, don't worry. We have, doctor says my child's fine. My child has a fever blister. Obviously came from me, the parent, and the parents. But, no one talks about it. The doctor says it's perfectly fine. It goes away. Meanwhile, it means early trigeminal neuralgia unless you do something about it. It means early migraines. It means early symptoms. It means all kinds of issues if you don't do something about it. So in the autoimmune section right here, okay, I'm reading this. The cause of autoimmune disorders and diseases, right, are not the body's immune system attacking its own organs and glands. Medical research and science, you know what they did recently? They took Epstein Barr information from medical medium books, word for word plagiarizing. But they still think the body's attacking itself too, because they can't let that old theory go. They're bringing in something fresh, something that's solid and works, like Info about Epstein Barr causing all these symptoms and conditions, and then they mix it. They just can't help themselves. They mix it with the body attacks itself with it. It's ridiculous, really. They can't keep it straight. There's no consistency. There's no check and balance. They constantly contradict itself. You notice how that's the world right now? It's nothing but contradictions 24/7. There's no check and balance, right? Medical medium science is what they're using. So they're using medical medium science. So it's a theory that the body attacks itself, right? And that's what the industry always uses. It started from the 1950s. The truth is, though, people are dealing with viruses responsible for these illnesses that they're living with. Viral activity in a combination with toxic metals and other chemicals. These viruses feed on foods, too, that I always talk about. If you want a way out, if you want out, I mean, do you want out? Yeah, you want out. No one wants to be sick. You guys don't want to be sick. I don't know anybody that wants to be sick. I definitely don't know anybody that wants to be sick, right? But there's a way out. There really is. It's about learning about, whoa, wait a minute. I can go after the bugs inside of me. I can actually get the toxins out. I could do something about it. It's powerful. That's powerful. So, if you got lupus, if you got RA, if you got anemia, if you got other conditions, anything, any kind of autoimmune condition, someone's asking on TikTok, do you drink licorice tea the rest of the day? Look, I'll go in times where I'm drinking licorice tea to keep my immune system strong because I'm working a ton of hours. If I get exposed to anyone or anything like that, I like to keep my immune system nice and strong. So what I'll do is I'll say, you know what, I'll do licorice tea for a while. And if I can't find any licorice tea, I don't have any licorice tea, then I'll just get a licorice supplement, right? So I'll get a licorice supplement from Vimergy right here. And Vimergy's that company I always talk about, right? I'm not sponsored by these guys. Here's their vitamin C, but they got a licorice root. So Vimergy's, V as in Victor, IMERGY.com. I'm not sponsored by those guys. I don't own the company, but the stuff is incredible. At me says, I thought you were doing Amazon Live. I did. The link is in the description, so check it out. You can watch the replay of the Amazon Live today. We made spaghetti and meatballs. So we made spaghetti and meatballs on the Amazon Live. And the reason why it took such a long time, pretty much because I ate a plate this big of spaghetti and meatballs. And I was like, oh my God, I can't go live yet. I better just work on other projects. I was stuffed. I couldn't help it. It was so good. It was so good. Did this waffle garlic bread. I made 10 meatballs. I had 2 pounds of pasta. It was gluten-free pasta. You guys got to check the Amazon Live out. It was fat-free. It was radical fat-free. It was really great. You can drink the licorice. Sure, ask your doctor if you can drink licorice tea. But me, personally, yeah, I'll drink it, keep my immune system strong. I'll drink it every day. That's Traditional Medicinals. I'm not sponsored either by these guys, but this is the company I use for my teas. Right there, Traditional Medicinals. Thought I'd have that on there because I don't talk about these guys that much, even though I do when I can. So, Rosangela says, the amount of times I heard that my body was attacking myself had me thinking something was wrong with me for years. Well, that's the way the system is built up. It's on YouTube. Thank you for being here, Rosa. That's the way the system's built. It's built to convince the person their bodies are faulty, attacking themselves, their bodies are no good, and their body wants you dead because your body's attacking itself. So that means your body wants you gone, right? If it's attacking you and making you sick to the point where you can't live life anymore, then yeah, maybe my body turned against me, but that's not what happens. It has nothing to do with your body doing that. It's about these little critters that everybody has inside of them. And when you have autoimmune, which everybody's getting a diagnosis of autoimmune, do you think that's normal? Is that a normal, great thing? Every single human being on this planet will get an autoimmune diagnosis. Every single one of them in the coming next 10, 15 years. Maybe young people, not as much, but most of them will still get an autoimmune diagnosis. But everybody will have that label, eventually have it. If they get a little older. I'm not talking about a little older like 90 years old. I'm talking 30 years old. 35 years old. Every single person on the planet will have an autoimmune diagnosis. Everyone. Is that good? Is that normal? Rachel Catherine says, my high blood pressure is gone after 2 days on lemon water. Lemons. Amazing. Lemon water and celery juice and cutting out all the no foods, all the bad foods, right? I talk about all the bad foods in here. Long road ahead with other health issues, but keeping the faith. That will give you faith. Glad to finally commit. You finally committed, and now all of a sudden, boom, you knocked out that high blood pressure. Incredible. Thanks, AW and SOC. Amazing, right on Facebook. I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of all you guys. If you guys don't have the book, get it free at the library or Amazon.com, 51% off right now. So Amazon.com, 51% off. You won't be making a mistake getting the book. You will not. You will be blown away and probably in shock because the information is so advanced. Lynette says, my thyroid is finally healing. I have gone from 125 to 88 on levothyroxine. Totally understand. I do. I'm so glad your thyroid's finally healing. You're working on it. That's the best thing I ever heard. I'm very happy about that. So what you're going to find coming up is all these autoimmune disorders. Everybody's going to have autoimmune. They're going to have also blood disorders. So you'll be diagnosed with all these different blood disorders as well. And then they're going to be diagnosed with all these autoimmune disorders because they're going to have neurological problems. So where we're heading now is everybody's going to have something wrong, like a twitch, a spasm, a tick, tingles and numbness, burning skin, headache, body pain, brain fog, crazy brain fog, migraines in strange ways, all kinds of infections and everything else. People are just going to have also all these neurological symptoms mainly, and that's where we're heading. And then their diagnoses are all going to be autoimmune. You got autoimmune. You got autoimmune. You got autoimmune. It's going to get so out of control. It's already heading there, right? But it's going to be everybody on the planet. And I don't think butter in your coffee or apple cider vinegar or oil pulling or whatever, charcoal is going to save anybody. It's not. It never did. It never will. But there's so many newbies that are going to get autoimmune disease and all these conditions and symptoms and be suffering and struggling, and they're going to have to go through it. Oh my God, they're going to have to go through it. What? Butter in my coffee might help? Okay. What green tea might help? Let me try green tea now. Okay, what else can I do? Oh, charcoal? Okay, let me swallow a bunch of charcoal. Okay, bentonite clay? Okay, let me try that. Okay, go, bentonite clay. It's going to be like this. And they're just going to be like, okay, that's your first year of suffering. Let's go through another 2 years, another 3 years, another 4 years before they'll ever know. Lisa said 1 year on celery juice and now cooking only with medical medium recipes and feeling so much more energy. 75 medical medium recipes and cleanse to heal. If you think I'm trying to push off a book, sell a book, go to the library and get it for free. Don't pay for it, please. I don't care if no one pays for it. If you can go to the library and just take it out of the library, that's all I care about. If I know you're sitting at home and you're looking into this and you're like, what? I can actually get better? There's answers in here, right? So yeah, important to know. So let's talk about just a couple little nitty gritty. I've talked about it before. I'm going to talk about it again. You have to be careful when you're getting your blood tests. That's critical. People don't stand a chance. They don't stand a chance unless they learn to ask for half files from your doctor or quarter vials from your doctor. If the phlebotomist says, no, we can't do it, call your doctor and you tell them you're only going to give half vials or quarter vials. Well, that's what you do. And then the doctor will tell the phlebotomist, just take the blood. And then that blood will do the same thing any other blood will do, because they only need a quarter or half vial. They need way less than that. I talk about that all these years, right? One of the ways they're getting everybody right now, and if I don't explain this to you guys once in a while, you're just going to fall into the traps. There's a lot of new people here too. They'll get you on the blood tests. They'll take the vials from you and you'll lose your white count while your white count is trying to stop this right here. So inside your body, there's a war all the time. You're sick. You got the brain fog. You don't feel good. You got symptoms. You got conditions. You're not well. You got anxiety. You got severe depression. You got body pain. You got fatigue. You got all these different conditions. You got skin rashes. You got hives. And what's happening is your white blood cells are trying to control and gobble down and eat the bugs. And then you're going to your doctor because you feel so darn sick, and your doctor's going to be like, I need to look at all your profiles. Let's get all the profiles here. I want to look at metabolic. I want to look at everything. And then you get, I want a thyroid panel, metabolic panel. I want a nutrition panel. I want a whatever. And that's what they do. And then what happens is your white blood cells are removed with every blood test, with every vial. But before they can restore, which can take weeks and even months for many people, because you already have an immune system problem, because that's why you're at the doctor's office, the bugs are still in the organs without your immune system in the blood anymore to keep it under control, and you get sicker. This is why people have lost their lives with neurological Lyme, multiple sclerosis, and cancer, and almost every other condition, because they take, and the more you get sick and complain, the more blood they take, and then the specialist takes, and then the next specialist takes. No one cares, and then you're sick in the hospital, and they take it every day until you lose your life, or somehow end up home without a blood test long enough to regain your life back, to sustain yourself enough before they try to draw your blood again and kill you. This is not radical thinking. I talk to doctors about this all the time. I have doctors now reaching out to me saying that it's the best thing they've ever heard. Their patients are rebounding quicker. Their patients are healing. They're ordering quarter vials and half vials. It's changing medicine right now. But if you're not on board, you're just going to get ripped off. You get ripped off. The one thing about the medical medium books is they teach you about this blood draw too. That's one thing right there. There's so many cool things, right? So there's a section in here. There's a section in here about like where, like that I'm going to show you in a minute too. When it comes down to Lyme disease, right? It comes down to Lyme disease, and I have a Lyme section in all my books. This is the Lyme section in this book right here. You can never heal from Lyme disease unless you learn what you're after. You got to go after the bugs and the right kind. You have to go after the toxins, and then you have to look out for the blood draws. The blood draws are a big part. You know who heals with Lyme disease? When they start feeling a little better, when they do the right things, like the medical medium information, and then they're going to the doctors a lot less, and they're getting less blood drawn, and now they're rocking. Now they're getting their lives back. It's incredible. It's incredible. Right? So I got this little part here in this medical medium book 1. All the medical medium books are so loaded with information. Right? When a larger number of blood vials are drawn, it could be stressful on the immune system. 4 full vials, 6 full vials, 20 full vials, 30 full vials, right? Okay? Because the very immune defenses that are keeping the viruses behind Lyme symptoms and any other symptom or autoimmune disease or anything else you're up against are being drawn out of the body when the blood's being drawn. So your very defenses, like your immune system's being sucked up and drawn up. If you don't know how to ask for quarter vials, and be cautious on how much blood's being taken. Blood draws tend to take away a substantial portion of a person's immune system that day, and it sometimes takes weeks to months to rebuild those portions of the immune system. Fancy that. Within those weeks, that the full power of your immune system is not present anymore in your blood, monitoring bugs and viruses, there's a window of strength all the bugs get in that moment, and they rise up, and now you're sicker, and you're going to the doctor one more time, and when you go to the doctor one more time, you're getting blood drawn again. Darcy Lee Womack says, I see a lot of people having aha moments here. Thank you for teaching us, AW. I haven't talked thoroughly enough about blood draw in quite a while. It's one of the reasons why we stay sick. And today's talk was, why are we sick? I have a podcast, you guys. You should check it out. Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts. It's the blood draw, bloodletting, vampire episode. Right? It's on Apple. It's on Spotify. So check it out when you can. You know what happens to our elders when they're sicker and they get sicker and they get sicker? They get bled to death. They die early. Our parents or grandparents, our great-grandparents, whatever, they die early before their time because they're bled to death. That's a big part of it. That's not just medications, which is the third reason for death, medications in the United States. Millie says, I suddenly got stricken with hand eczema in 2020. It spread to my neck and then my face. I went to two different dermatologists, prescribed 4 prescriptions that only gave me temporary relief. Per Medical Medium, I started juicing cilantro, juicing celery, reduced my fat intake, ordered the recommended supplements, and after 3 days, right, like the Vimmergy stuff that's recommended, and after 3 days, okay, I began to heal. I am over the moon with gratitude and joy. Millie, I'm honored you're here. Truly, I am. So what about donating blood? So let's go into that. The podcast, Lynette talks about that. Check out the podcast when you get a chance about donating blood and how that works. Okay? So I'm not against blood donations, but check it out. Definitely, if you can. So when I talk about why are we sick, I'm giving you guys the foundational tools, right? You got some kind of critter in you, right? We got a critter, right? I gave you that one. We got toxins. We got poisons, right? It's another one. And then we get broken down. Too many blood draws. Too much caffeine. Chocolate, coffee, green tea, matcha tea. Too much caffeine. Foods that feed the bugs, right? Deborah says, I'm not getting any notifications for you. How do I get them again? I keep missing you, Deborah. That's by design. It's not for me keeping you from seeing these, but it's by design. And that's been happening since 2018. So try turning on your notifications again and try to give it a shot. Try to reset it. So Gen Z says, I've been advised to donate more blood because my blood is poisoned with carbon monoxide, so it's not good blood to keep. Look, I want you to listen to your doctor because that's what you should do. If you're advised by your healthcare provider to do something, you do it. If that was me, I wouldn't be doing that. If that was me, but that's just my life. I could say that, okay? And because I would ask myself, like, why would that help someone else then? So, am I going to give? See, I would say to that doctor. If you want me to donate my blood because it's poisoned with carbon monoxide, isn't that, what if there's a child that needs my blood and they're going to do a blood transfusion in a child and they're going to poison that child with carbon monoxide? That's what I would ask my doctor. And that's really disturbing. I'm going to ask Dr. Nesbitt if he'll come out right now because I want to see what Dr. Nesbitt has to say. because Dr. Nesbitt is a better doctor than I believe than probably your doctor. So I'm going to get Dr. Nesbitt. You just came out of surgery? Dr. Nesbitt just came out of surgery right now. He's here. So this is really interesting. So did you hear that before? So, okay, this doctor's patient, which is a very nice person here, left a comment, right, saying that she's told to donate her blood because her blood's poisoned. Yeah. And what are you doing, Dr. Nesbitt? Dr. Nesbitt. Dr. Nesbitt likes to play with everything. He thinks these are all toys, even though he's on the medical board and he's a surgeon. What do you think about that? Dr. Nesbitt, stop sticking that in my face. He says he wouldn't donate the blood. What? He said that doctor is definitely a quack. What? He says that doctor's a quack, and there's a lot of bad doctors out there. Really? Why do you say that? All doctors are good. He says it's the third reason why people die in this country alone is from malpractice, because doctors are like assholes. No, that's not right. No, doctors are, they're not, know what? They have an asshole? What are you trying to say? What? Dr. Nesbitt doesn't even know what he's saying. He's saying that doctors are like assholes, everybody has one. That doesn't even make any sense. Anyway, Dr. Nesbitt has to go back into surgery. He's taking this with him. He's going to inject this vial of blood that has carbon monoxide and some other dangerous things in it. He's going to inject this into his patient. He thinks that was wise advice from the other doctor to just put blood that's not good in someone else and put it in someone else. Is that really? No, he's only kidding. He would never do that. Okay, Dr. Nesbitt has to go. Can you drop that, please? I need it for my demonstration. God, Dr. Nesbitt. Dr. Nesbitt's going back into surgery. You guys, on my newsletter, Medical Medium newsletter, I'm going to be doing some exclusive videos on there that you're only going to see on my newsletter. Not going to see them on Rumble, not going to see them on YouTube, not going to see them on Facebook, not going to see them on IG, not going to see them on TikTok, not going to see them on Telegram. I'm sorry, it's just going to be on my newsletter. And maybe you'll sign up for the newsletter so you can see those. So medicalmedium.com, plus the newsletter link is right there. It's right there in the description. It's right there in the profile on TikTok, Telegram. You'll find a link too. So sign up to the newsletter, because I'm gonna do like exclusive, never anywhere else videos in these newsletters coming up. Just not tomorrow, but like try next week or something. And I think we're gonna start that. So make sure you sign up so you don't miss these. Okay? I'm going to Instagram now. TikTok, I'm turning you back on. Telegram, I'm turning you back on. We're going on Instagram. And we're going on pretty fast, too, right from here to there. I don't have a mess to clean up. And we're going to talk about supplements, dosages, illnesses. We're going to talk about some other things, too, while we're sick. And check out that Amazon Live I just did, if you can. The link is right there in the description. The Amazon Live I just did. Go there and follow me over there and check out the Medical Medium Cooking Show Live. Link is in the bio as well. All right, you guys. I love you much, okay? I'll see you guys later.